This is brand new at 4. Federal authorities bust an illegal drug market in Gresham. Court documents describe vendors selling a variety of illicit drugs to people every weekend.
Katu's Christina Giardinelli is live now outside the property where this was allegedly taking place. So, Christina, neighbors say they watched the drug bust take place over the weekend.
Yeah, Deb, this is the property here in question. You can see that black gate. You can see the no trespassing signs. There's a big warehouse behind that gate, and neighbors say they watched this all unfold on Saturday. They say there were a number of federal vehicles, undercover vehicles that lined this entire street, as well as a SWAT vehicle, and they say they watched some of the alleged vendors from this market being handcuffed here on this very street. Now, they say this is a quiet street, a great place to raise a family before this all started taking place about a year ago. A quiet, rural street in Gresham.
This is a beautiful place to raise your kids. It's super quiet. It's close to town.
A man we'll call Will says every weekend for the past year, his quiet neighborhood has been flooded with traffic. He's received threats and asked us not to disclose his identity or show his face.
It just kept growing and growing and growing to about 100 cars a day or more.
He says they didn't have to wonder for too long what it was all about.
There was just a street sign at the front of the street, and then a sign at the where you would enter into the premises, and then online on Facebook is where they would advertise to the public.
He showed me these screenshots he took of the public social media posts he found advertising the events on his street. The posts feature psychedelic flyers advertising danky gas parties with vendors selling things like, quote, cotton candy and elephant ears. According to federal court documents, the events were essentially drug markets selling everything from cannabis to psychedelic mushrooms, LSD, ecstasy, and even ketamine. The document accuses 46-year-old Kevin Jarrett Olsen, a convicted felon, of allowing the drug market to take place at his Gresham property, as well as possessing a host of firearms at his property in Boring. Will says Olsen had threatened him and other neighbors if they reported him.
Just threats, claiming that we didn't want any part of this, that he was connected, he'd been to prison, so he knows how to handle himself.
Will says his biggest fear was for his family.
Since I worked on the weekends, the biggest fear would be something happen and I wouldn't be able to be there to protect my family.
Now, Will says he and other neighbors had been working with the federal agency for about a year to try and get this place busted. And he did thank the agency for finally making that happen. Now, I reached out to the Department of Homeland Security, who's the lead federal agency on this case, and have not heard back yet. Live in Gresham, Christina Giardinelli, Katu News.
Christina, thank you for that.